Welcome to this week's edition of Money Matters. I'm going to be talking hopes and dreams, Las Vegas. That's not a good combination, is it, normally? And not doing the things that you don't want to do. In all of those matters, money really does matter. So let's start at the beginning. Why do I think money matters? I think money matters because it is the thing that allows us to spend our most valuable commodity, time, in the way that we want. And specifically, it enables us to not have to do things that we don't want to do. That's what money does. That's its function in life. Now, in a perfect world, you get money from, well, in my case, a business or a house. It just gives you money in exchange for none of your time. You do that perfectly, and you've now got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the whole year to do exactly what you want to do. Now, that's a perfect world. On your journey to that perfect world, there'll be some compromises, but you get to make a start. And one of the ways that you can start is by being really clear about what you don't want to do. Sometimes there's a price that goes with that. Sometimes actually it's a cost saving. So I want to look in real practical detail at something that just happened to me as a dad last week. I want to talk to you about Ben and Hannah. So Ben is my middle boy. He's 27 years old. Remember the day that he was born, 1996, in Preston, Lancashire, like it was yesterday. And he's now, well, he's not a little baby anymore. He's 27 years old. I'm 6 foot. He's 6'3". He's a big boy. And he's done very well. He bought his first property at 21. He's done, a few property projects, service accommodation, whatever. He's got his own business. Fantastic. And he's a really laid-back guy. His older brother, Jack, he's in his 30s. Jack earns a lot more money. He's maybe a lot more driven by business and stuff, but Ben isn't. It's not his thing. Ben makes enough money, but what Ben would far rather do is, make sufficient money, and then instead of developing his business, he'd rather go and play golf once or twice a week. So he's got this really healthy balance between earning money and the way in which he spends his life. He got engaged to this wonderful lady, Hannah. He actually got engaged in Disneyland Paris. Why do they do it in Disneyland Paris? Well, because they're both Americana nuts. So here we are at the end of 2023. They planned their wedding, obviously, as you do if you're into the Stars and Stripes, Uncle Sam and everything American, on Independence Day, July the 4th, 2024. And the planning's been going on for this. So big family wedding, 150 people. I'm sure you can imagine it. Big Scottish event. Hannah is very, very Scottish. And in fact, if you look at a picture of Hannah with her ginger hair, and then you look at a picture of the cartoon character from Brave, well, you see what you think. I talk to most of my children most weeks. But when one of them wants something, I'm in the luxurious position that I can afford to listen. I can afford to make the time to listen because I'm not trying to do 2-3 jobs at once and struggling to make ends meet, stressed out of my head because I haven't got enough money, which I know is how most people are. So I can genuinely make time. So I got a phone call last week, actually, about 10 days ago now, from Ben. And Ben said, and when Ben says, and he texts me, he messaged me, "Can you talk to me, Dad?" I know that is code for I need some time. That's not like speak to you for 5 minutes, bye. I'm sort of semi-stressed because I know Ben wants to talk to me about something to do with his wedding, and I'm thinking, what is it, engagement rings in the bin, or what's going on, or there's a falling out? So he phones me up. He's like, we want to get married for us. I was like, good. And it's like, yeah, but we've got all this family stuff. There's, Hannah wants to wear certain things, and there's people in the family that are saying that they want to wear the same things. And it's like, she's fighting with other people in the family, and she's the bride. I think when it's something that's that important, that people should do it because they want to do it, not because their mum says, their dad says, society says, the vicar says, or, So Ben said to me that they just wanted to elope, they just wanted to run away. And he told me that they wanted to get married in the States. I was like, oh, yeah, no surprise there then. Because everything those two do is something to do with the United States. They're even talking about moving there at some point. He got my total support, and I said, yeah, go for it. Which surprised him a bit because he hadn't had that from the other close family members that he'd called. But he got unconditional support from me. And I just said, I want to give you 2 bits of advice, Ben. And I said, number 1, enjoy it. You're only going to do this once. This is your moment in time. Whatever you want to do, whatever Hannah wants to do, Don't forget about what everybody else wants to do. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, when he told me he was getting married in Vegas at the little white wedding chapel, I said, the other thing that I want you to seriously consider, Ben, I'm just going to give you one piece of advice. You might want to think about getting Elvis to marry you. And she's like, whoa, okay, I need to look into that. I believe that when you have children, or when you love anyone really, that love is unconditional or it isn't love. Because it's not about what you want, it's about what they want. And it's about supporting them to do whatever they want. Having shared that life experience with you, what's my message? What's the point I'm trying to get across here by telling you this story? My point is that I'm massively proud of Ben and Hannah, or Mr. and Mrs. Porter Smith, as they are now, for doing what they did. They had the courage, they had the convictions to go and actually live their dreams. What I would like you to do, I want to give you a piece of homework if you want to take it on. If you want to spend your life doing what you want to do as opposed to what somebody else tells you to do that stresses the hell out of you, is start making a list of things you don't want to do. That's step one. Yeah, it could be something to do with property or whatever, but that's for the future, for now, so that you can live your life the way Ben and Hannah do, the way you can follow your dreams. You need to be clear about what you don't want to do. Now, if I can just give you a final little tip about where you're going to find a load of that stuff, it's your to-do list. Because if you like doing things, no one needs to remind you. No one needs to remind you to take the dog for a walk if you love walks. You don't need to put on your to-do list, walk the dog. Oh, I forgot. Where is the dog? I haven't seen it for a week. You don't do that, do you? If you love your dog, you love your dog. Almost all of them you're going to find on your to-do list because you find them boring, because you don't want to do them. And I just want to finish up here on this week's edition of Money Matters by reminding ourselves once again that life is very short. This 10 minutes, 15 minutes that you spent with me, you're not getting it back. The next week, the last month that you spent, you're not getting that back. Did you spend the last month, the last year, living your life exactly the way that you wanted to? We're all getting older. We're all getting nearer the end of our days. Your control is between this day and your last. What do you want to spend your time doing? I want you to be spending your time worrying about whether you're going to get married in Vegas or New Mexico or whatever it is for you, not doing a pile of stuff that you find boring or stressful or worse. Please think about that. Please let me know down below what it is that you don't want to do. Let's work on a plan together so you don't have to do it. It has to be done. Someone has to do it, potentially, but it doesn't have to be you. Please think about that. If you like what you've heard, subscribe, tell somebody else about it. I don't know, just share the news, because I want you to share the news that I'm so proud of all my children, and I want to be proud of whatever it is that you decide to do, but I need to know what that is first, or I can't be. All right, you've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you next time.